Let's face it, at times life's pretty discouraging and you've got to wonder what it's all about. When I feel like that, I often go visit a crazy old fisherman. At least that's what I thought when I first met him. And pretty soon the world's not such a bad place after all.
Oh, kelp. Oh! John! John! Look at him, John! Holy jump, John! Holy jump, John! Look at there, John! Oh, the big crab free. Look at here, John! Look! Ooh, two babies! Two babies, John! That's for keeping my lobsters, right? So they won't bite each other. See, keep them separated. See it there? Each little slot of lobster goes down in. That's one of my inventions, John. I mean, a lot of people make fun of stuff, but doesn't really mean that they mean it. What are you doing that for? You know, that's a bunch of craziness. What are you doing that? That's a waste of time, right? That's their attitude. Well, geez, I love wasting my time, right? That's what you say back to them. I love wasting my time.
This is where I first met Louis, a few years ago, at his museum. I remember the whole thing did seem crazy, and it smelled bad, like fish and mothballs mixed together. Then Louis started explaining it all, and that's when I got my biggest surprise. It turned out he and his 4 sons ran a multi-million-dollar fishing business. That's when I started thinking there had to be a lot more to Llewellyn Henneberry and his museum than first meets the eye. Louis and I got along from the very start. The winter before we met, his wife Ivy had passed away. His 7 children, all grown up, lived nearby.
Good evening. If you thought that things could get no worse in the Atlantic fishing industry, they just have.
What the maximum was?
There were color slides, bar graphs, and elaborate charts to explain a very simple fact. Fish stocks in the Atlantic region are their lowest ever, even after last year's drastic quota cuts.
They're scared, they're fishermen. They don't know what, the fishermen don't really know what's going on.
But today scientists...
One week they'll say one thing and next week they'll change it around to something else, and the fishermen don't know what to believe anymore.
Some of the scientists today blame cold water for the declining stocks. Others say global warming.
Well, I've been fishing all my life, John, and all through the years I've seen fish leaving in 3 or 4 years they came back again. I've seen them cycle in, cycle out 4 or 5 different times. I can't understand what's going on, and I don't think mankind will ever understand, because it's a very large ocean out there. It's too large. It's much too large.
Louis's family has lived in the village of Sambro for generations. Fishing is everything here. That's how it is now. That's how it's been for 200 years. His sons fish year-round on this deep-sea longliner. The day I showed up, they'd just returned from a 2-week trip with 20,000 pounds of halibut. The brothers were shipping the entire catch to Boston, where they told me it could fetch well over $100,000.
Yeah, over 85.
It turns out there's a long tradition of hard-driving, ambitious fishermen in Louis's family. His own father, Gus, may look like an accountant in his wedding photo, but he had a seafaring youth right out of Captain's Courageous. Before he was married, Gus signed on to a schooner much like this one. The captain was Gus's brother. Uncle Will, as Louis says, one of the last of the old sea skippers. The voyage was bound for the Falkland Islands, over 6,000 miles away, off southern Argentina. There was no engine, no radar, just a sextant, compass, a clock, and a lot of know-how. It was fur seals that tempted Gus onto this long voyage. The pelts were worth a fortune. He poses with a dead seal before it's skinned. The Falklands are cold, stormy, and remote. The work hard and dangerous. You can almost see the strain showing on the men's faces. A touch of humor here. The crew in a colony of giant albatross. So the folks back home will believe it when you tell them about seagulls as big as turkeys.
If I had a boatload of them, you know, I'd be able to make a payday out of it, right? And that's all right if I can get some of them. Look at that. Boy, am I ever so happy. Yeah. What are you so happy about, John? I don't think it's funny, look. That's a scalping. And they can do a job on your nets. See, look. Geez, man, they're loaded full of little horns. Look, see what? They'll relate to the devil, I think. See them, look. It's all full of horns. It's no good for nothing. All these big populated countries, they eat pretty well everything they catch. All we want ice cream. That's our dish. We can't get ice cream, we're not going to eat nothing. There's another one of our buddies coming down there. Dear old precious soul. We used to be the best of friends, me and that old scupper, but no more. That's enough of that kind of stuff, old buddy. The next time you see a net down on the bottom, steer clear of it. Or you got any odds or what? Huh? I'll give him a second chance, but it happens again, that's the end of you, right? There's some nice now, nice and white, huh? That fish worth about 50 bucks.
So that's a single codfish?
That's one codfish, yeah. That'll weigh about 20 pounds now when you take it to pickle. And there was 250 there last year for a while, right? So that's 50 bucks for one fish.
Wow.
But you don't get too many of them, right? They're few and far between them.
Are they?
There's one thing about a salt fish, so you can keep it for quite a while, eh? All of those fish there, they were all alive pretty well one time, right? You know, they were live fish that I cured.
So you say that was a live fish?
That was a live fish back 5 or 6 years ago, yeah. First of all, you get the fish and you salt it. You put it in salt for about 3 or 4 weeks. And then you take it out of the salt, and then you make a pattern of it, right, with a piece of plywood, and then you fasten the fish, shape it all up, fasten it to the wood, and then you let it dry for about a year or two. And then when you get it all dried out good, then you give it a couple of coats of urethane. Then you have to use the sparkle paint.
Why did you make all of it, Louis? What was your reason for making it all?
A hobby, you know, something for the keep, something for the keep you. You know, you always should have something to do. You know, when there's nothing to do, you're sitting there and worrying, right? Because I think if I had nothing to do, I'd wear myself sick. No, too much stuff be on your mind. For to create something, you know, that's out the ordinary, that's silly or crazy. Some people say it's crazy, but to create something that some people's going to laugh at or maybe admire, well, I think you've done something right.
Louis has 10 brothers and sisters still alive. What amazes me is they all reside around Sambro, within a few miles of where they were born. And all the boys became fishermen, like their father.
12, 18, 27,
29.
20. Yeah. Every time I had to play the 8, I couldn't make it 21 before. Look at that. 2.
We're doing all right.
10 bucks here, don't cost me.
19.
21.
27. Go.
8.
15 for
24.
Go. Go.
Go.
31.
Ah, for God's sake. No difference. What?
I knew it, Rexy had. He was holding his hand.
Hear that, Rexy?
Boy, they're easy.
You gotta hold your hand, and the reason you played them runs, he's looking in your hand.
You could see it. Yeah,
I seen it too, I know.
Did you and Louis and the others start fishing when you were quite young?
Yeah, I started when I was 13, and I guess most of the other fellas, except the younger fellas, might have got a few more
I
years.
started before I was 13. First year I went sword fishing,
Well,
I was
we
12
used to
years
set
old.
lobster
Cape
traps.
Breton for 3 months fishing.
When we were 7 or 8
That's
years
12
old.
Yeah, we never had to have no
Who did you go with,
license,
Alan?
Father.
You went with your
With
father?
my father, yeah. And, you know, the only thing that was bad about it, I used to get seasick all the time. But it wouldn't have been for that, I guess it would have been a pretty good trip.
We were down to Cape Breton in a small boat harpooning swordfish. And Louis was, well, he was 12 or 13. He was dressing swordfish. Now I got a picture of him dressing
No.
swordfish. Yeah. Another day we were coming in, and Louis used to come down and get supper ready, you know. He was our cook. Waited for the longest time and no supper, you know. And we went down and looked, no Louis.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, we looked everywhere for him. In them times we used to burn wood, you know, and the fellow was with us, was quite an elderly fellow. He said, the poor little bugger, he said, he must have fell overboard. And we looked around everywhere, and we used to keep our wood in under the stern of the boat, and it was boxed in like, you know, had a door on. And we gave him up for being gone. First time we looked in under there, and there he was in there sound asleep. He went to get supper. I went in there and fell asleep. We thought he was gone.
My God. So a good boat, boy.
So you're seeing boats that you do recognize?
Oh, yeah.
A couple of them, yeah.
I wish I was there.
We had one shop when they had a big chair like
Wish
that.
I was there so I could tell them what to do.
For Louis and his brothers, this silent film, over 50 years old, was a home movie. I found it in the provincial archives and made a copy to show them.
Tie it on, buddy.
In the 1930s, their father taught them to hunt swordfish with harpoons.
Brings back old memories. They're pretty good pictures.
Lady Leather.
There's Abe. There's Abe Wilcox.
Abe Wilcox. Hey, there he is.
Oh. Oh, geez, man, is that guy ever finning?
He's feeling good. No, he's not fooling around, that's far.
Look, well, the big swordfish jumping.
That's it, buddy. Give it. Oh, you hit him something hard.
Yeah.
He stood right up. That's a good shot. Get him back. He's coming to, boy, look.
You gotta give him quick.
He's coming
boy.
to.
Look at the size of that baby there, look, will you?
Tell you big
Big
fish.
fish then, boy.
Ready? Set, go.
All 4 of Louis' sons have been international dory racing champions at one time or another. Avery and Clark are last year's winners, but the big race is only a month away, and they're just starting to train seriously.
Well, winning is everything. There's no such thing as second place or third place. Either you win or you're nothing. Because the second place fella don't get no glory whatsoever, nothing. He just gets what happened. I thought you guys were better than that. Guess you wasn't.
Oh, you don't get that, do you?
Holy jumping frig, like I told you. If Marty and Jimmy beats us, we'll have to leave Sambro. Because we'll never be able to take the resin we'll get.
Who are your main contenders this year? Do you have any idea?
It seems like the best teams are brothers.
What are
There's the Dempsey brothers, they won a few times. There's the Morrissey brothers over in the States. They usually always win. And why, I don't know.
And then there's the Henneberry brothers.
And the Henneberry brothers.
So who are you putting your money on?
I always bet on the home team.
I would say these fellas here have not practiced enough to win a race.
You think not?
No.
Yeah, but they're not.
I hope I'm wrong, but
I hope you are too. But these fellas aren't new starters. They've been at it long enough.
yeah,
They get all
well,
the-
I'll tell you, the Dempsey boys has been at it a while too.
That don't mean a thing.
And they've
all
been
right?
practicing.
What's this? Here, I got one here. Yep.
You must persuade.
Last night all alone in a bar room, met a girl with a drink in her hand. She had ruby red lips, cold like air, and eyes that would tempt any mind. Then she came and sat down at my table, and as she placed her soft hand in mine.
We had a dance hall up here in Sambro way back 2 years ago. And we went to the dance. Later on I said, Dog, I said, could I take you home? Well, she said, you can if you want to, right? Well, I said, if I didn't want to take you home, I wouldn't ask you. I just a man said it to a girl, you know. So I took her home, you know. When the time comes, she had to go in the house, right? And boy, that last kiss, that was it. A nice, big, beautiful kiss, right? And a loving kiss. Now, there's a beautiful picture there, right? I think that she was 17. I think that was 17.
Really?
Yeah.
Were you married yet at that point?
We never got married. She was 18 when we got married. That was 17. You know, I first started going with her.
When did you have kids, Louis? Did you have kids right after you were married?
We had kids before we was married. Well, during the process.
Your first child was born.
I'd say
after
about 5 months after we were married. But that never had nothing to do with the marriage, you know. We were engaged anyway.
Right.
Never had a thing to do with it, you know. We were going to be married anyway.
Right.
But it happens that way. So big deal, hot fiddle flowers. See that little family tree? And there's all the little kids, 7 little kids, all little babies, eh? That was our family. Look at that. Oh boy, look at that. Geez, it's hard to believe that they were so small. They're saying their prayers, but I can't see how they could keep that quiet that long. Look, I was taking that night, and look here, look, undress and look. I was taking this, look. You watch this, the expression. Look, she don't even know I'm taking it. Watch when she looks around and sees me, look. There they are playing for little boats.
I cannot remember Dad.
So he was away that much?
Well, Dad would only be in, like he would go 3 weeks at a time because it was like all sword fishing. and he'd be in maybe 2 days, and then like, you know, he'd have the big scruffy beard on, and he'd be gone again, and back in for 2 or 3 days, gone again.
I mean, Ivy was a good mother, way better than I was a father. I was out there fishing, making a living for the family, which was my duty, right? But my wife was home, and she was looking after the kids, right? And she loves every one of them. And a lot of love and affection. And the old guy was out fishing, there's a little bit of love and affection for him, what he done.
I seen us up in the house, power go off in a big snowstorm or something there in March or something, and we'd all be sleeping downstairs because it'd be real cold, you know, no heat. And I seen Mum there crying with her mother down, you know, trying to settle her down because Dad was out in this big storm. And so I seen her, she'd have her ear up to that big radio, that marine band on the big radio. I seen her all day long trying to hear them on their top.
No one knows exactly what happened. A big sea likely broke on top of her, rolled her over. The fisherman's body washed ashore a few days later.
So the thing is, when something like that happens, life goes on.
Well, I can imagine someone saying, I'm not going to go out on the sea anymore.
Well,
that's it's too frightening a place to
well,
go.
the thing is, sure, I mean, you can understand that. There's people that don't want to do that, but the thing is, that's not my... Hey, I'm a fisherman, right? That's my living. And if you're going to back off and say, well, look, I can't do it, I'm scared to death, you're not a good fisherman.
What would you think of drowning at sea yourself? What do you think of that as a way to die?
Oh, they say it's a beautiful way to die. They say drowning is just like you're going to sleep.
What I've got here, I've got a dogwood tree. And I don't know if you can see all the crutches on these things, but the more you get on these from the dogwood, and the dogwood has the power to chase these things away from your house or boat or whatever you're having problems with. Now, Louis had a lot of problems with his boat. He's been
the last couple of years
ashore and
yes, man, geez,
problems.
There's nothing wrong with the boat. It's a nice little boat, but
yeah.
Oh, everything that could go wrong with inside of it.
Louis got a demon here aboard this boat, and
he's going
we're going to get him off.
He's going to get rid of it.
Get on the boat here now. Now I've got to start whipping him. I've got to get him out of here now. He's up here. Get off. Back off. Back off. Get him off. I'll get him back here, Lou. Take him back. Get him back off the wheelhouse. Sure he's not down that side. Down that side. I'll get him off. Now, just in case he got down here in the wheelhouse, now I'll get down here forward in case he's going down here. Oh, get out! Get out! Get over here! Get out! Get out! Get out! Get over here! Get over here!
There. Now that's what it's all about.
Do you have any idea where he came from or what the story is there?
Just one of those things, I guess, where they came from. They just sort of, maybe this boat appealed to him.
It's what you believe in. It's like Ed said, if you believe anything strong enough.
You have to believe.
If you, right.
You believe
I mean,
what you believe.
You believe in something I don't believe in. Well, that's your business. But if I want to believe in something, I believe in it strong enough. People believe in things. different things, and all believe
If
the
we
same
knew
thing.
all things in this world,
Yeah.
what makes us go around, we'd be very, very smart. We don't even know this much of it. We don't know nothing what takes place.
What's that? What are those things?
Them is monkfish. That's the male and female. Yeah. And this, you see this crib board, you know, you've seen them playing crib? Well, that was in a codfish's belly, big codfish's belly. Yeah, that was in a codfish's belly. Someone threw it away and the codfish had swallowed it.
How do you know?
And this is a true story.
How do you know?
That crib board, you know, someone threw it overboard.
How did you know?
And it was in his stomach when they opened the codfish, the knife struck to it. That's what was there.
How did you know?
Now, don't you believe that? It's the truth. It's the truth, man. Now, here's something else I want to show you. Look, you see that? And that goes way back there, I'd say, 100 years or so. That's what they used when they were baiting their fishing gear. A candle went in that, right? It's called a Tommy stick. See, wherever you drive it in the wood, and that's where the candle went in. And that's all they had for the light you used in the nights when they were baiting up their fishing gear, was one of them.
Flare gun.
Now, you don't believe that, do you? But it's the truth.
We were only 10, 11, 12 years old.
Did he ever tell you why he made you do it?
Well, I don't know.
Or
He
did you want to
really
do it?
didn't make us do it. We wanted to do it.
Okay.
You know. But just putting us out in a little boat or something, I don't think I could do that to my kids. You know, I'd be a nervous wreck.
You mean he put you out in a little...
Oh yeah, we get out in an oversized punt, 15 miles from here. You know, on the fine days, and we'd haul the trawl.
And where would he be?
He'd be sometimes 2 or 3 miles away from us on gillnets. It should only took us 2 hours, and we'd be on it all day. Because, man, we get there playing around with the sharks up, finning around the boat, hitting with the paddle. You know, we were just playing, kids. But after a while, most of the time, we'd nearly get the trawl all back, and then he'd probably finish the last tub or something. But like I said, we used to get a lot of fish. But every day, all through the summer, that's what he'd do.
I'd be about a half a mile away, and I used to haul the nets back on the drum, and every once in a while I'd get up on the gun and look out, you know.
Yeah, see if you could see us.
No, I was worried. I wasn't really worried.
yeah.
I wasn't really worried, but I mean, I want them to learn.
We first started out in his lobster boats, he had nothing but old junk pile engines. You go to the junkyard and get an engine and put it in the boat. We went out one trip, there's a story for you. We went out one trip, we burnt one engine up, burnt our dry in oil, right? So
yes, I remember that.
That's the truth.
What a bunch of junk. We come in, one of his friends had an old engine. He said,
Yeah,
geez,
great
it's in pretty good shape,
Yeah,
he said.
that's
it is.
true, yeah.
So we pulled that one out one day, put the next one in the next day. We went out the next day, 13 quarts of oil we went
You're
through.
right on.
One day it was it.
It was right
One
down
day
through
we
it.
had it in.
That's true,
We
yeah.
wore it out before we put it in.
Yeah. See, these guys here, right, they're better fishermen than what I am. The father might be smart, but remember, the son's smart too.
You guys ended up being fishermen. Do you see your sons ending up being fishermen?
Yeah.
Probably they will, but they're not going to have the chance that we had when we were growing up, because the rules has changed. Quota systems. There's more people into the fishery now. The stocks is depleted, but there is different types of fishery you can go to. But I would say yes, you'll probably see them go fishing.
Yeah, but the thing is,
But
the only way
they might do something else, right? They
Yeah.
got the opportunity to do
Hey,
something else.
the only way they're going to go fishing, I'll tell you right now, it's up to you. Nobody else. You. There he is. Look, he's right there. I see one here already. Way down deep now. Come on. You can do better than that, Christopher. You're not going deep enough, man. Go down deeper now. Look, go down deep on it. Way out, far as you can go.
I can't reach that. There's a shark.
Jeez, it's full of sharks. Full of sharks. Geez, that's a big guy. Look, get his head there, Christopher, look. Get his head. Look, see it? That's it. Help him, Case, help him, Case. What teamwork! Geez, boy, I'll tell you that Christopher's got some power behind him, ain't he? He's loaded with power.
Well, geez, that's no little baby, is it? Woo. There he comes, man. Get the gas, man. Get into, Christopher. Oh, boy, you see that man gas flash? Excellent. The more he gets, the better he gets at it. My God, what a man that's going to make. What a hero. My hero. You are, Christopher, my hero. Jeez. Boy, some excitement going on here, huh? Woo! Look at that big baby. But this is a thrill for these guys, right? It's something new and different. Same as Christopher now, right? See, he's been sick for years and years, right? So right now he's 15 years old and nobody ever took him out. His mother said, the last checkup he had, the doctor said, whatever he's doing, keep him doing it. Mm-hmm. Because that's one of the best checkups he had. So now see what they've done for him? You gotta hit him on the head there, Case. Okay, that's good. You proved your point. Haul him back, man, haul him back. That's it, now you're doing something, Case. I love to see you work like that, Case. It'll build great big muscles on you.
Hundreds of fishermen are surrounding a Russian ship in Shelburne Harbor tonight. The fishermen are angry that foreign fishing boats are catching millions of pounds of fish while their quotas are constantly being cut.
They keep saying, well, the fishery's not coming back, it's not increasing none. And they got these big Russian ships out there still catching our fish.
So even people
I'm
like
not worried
you
about myself.
and,
I'm all set and all right. I mean, I'm 65 years old, but what I'm worried about is my grandsons and even my sons. You know, they're just right up to stage now where they're good fishermen and they can make a good living. There's still a good living out there. They can make it, but the government won't let them make it. I'm going to just keep cutting them back right slow till there's nothing left.
They're going to clean the too clean, Louis, boy. There's no way they're going to bring it back.
Hey, that's what I told him. I said it's going to keep going down and there'll be no fish left.
There'll be nothing. Yeah.
Get them friggin' big draggers and stuff off our territory.
Just think back a few years, Louis, what happened when they drove the Grimsby fleet right out of Iceland. A little country like that, they stuck to their guns. We wanted our cod fishery, and we're keeping it. And they destroyed them, and they drove the British right out of that. A little nation like that. And here, the country we got, we can't get one bit of support.
Myself and my 4 sons. All of us. Doesn't that make sense?
I never asked you, why did you have the model made?
Do you go get your wife's picture taken? Do we now you want to get a picture taken because you love her, right? Mm-hmm. So we love that boat. Remember, your life's on the line. So you have to have something half decent. I mean, when you get down there, you get 60 or 70 or 80 mile of wind in the wintertime. There's no picnic. So you have to have something pretty big and seaworthy. Mm-hmm. I guess we'd call it $1 million boat.
Why do they fish for swordfish and halibut with the all of us?
Because that's their life. Right down through the generations. My father, I did it. And it's passed down from one generation to the other, right?
I went out sword fishing on the All of Us to get a sense of what a deep sea fisherman's life is really all about.
Well, it's Friday night, baby, get ready, set, go.
It's the same routine every day for almost 2 weeks, winding back 1,500 hooks strung on a headline 50 miles long. his prime, this was Louis's whole life. Now it's his son's. The pace is relentless, and no one sleeps much. They work 16 hours a day or more, whatever it takes to get the gear in, rebait thousands of hooks, and set them out again. A mako shark, the fiercest and most dangerous shark they catch. This wasn't a very big one, but it still took most of the crew to muscle it aboard.
He wants you, Arthur. He wants you bad. Look at that.
I was warned to keep my distance. Mako sharks bite even when they're laying on the deck.
The large medium.
Yeah.
Swordfish is a luxury food that can fetch $4 to $8 a pound at the dock. This whole trip was going to a buyer in New Jersey who resells it all over North America.
It's 247 fish. 90 or 100 pound average, I guess.
72.
That's 28 of them ones, isn't it, mate?
What was this year's sword fishing season like? How's it been? How do you think it's going to crop up?
One of our best yet so far.
Really?
Yeah.
I also went out with Louis, harpoon sword fishing, the old-fashioned way he learned from his own father. It was totally different. His son, Avery, was on the radio checking with other boats for any sign of fish in the area.
I am so full of shit that I...
Hey, he seen 2 fish today down there. There's fish there. You get the right day. You see 10. You get 10 day.
Well, okay, what do you want to do? You want to go down there?
I'd say that's your best bet. You ought to skip line. Right? What do you think about it?
Well, he's figuring on coming this way.
Yeah, but don't listen to that. That's just, he's just saying that. What's he going to come here for? We never seen a fish 2 boats, and he's only one. He's seen 2. And you come here. The man's loosing the head.
The morning fog burned off, just a light breeze. According to Louis, a perfect day to spot swordfish.
But what we're most looking for now is our fins coming out of the water, right? Maybe from a ½ inch to 6-7 inches out of water.
We were over 100 miles from land. It was amazing. There were dolphins everywhere.
That's true, but you got a couple days, did you? No, we never got no man. We had 4 or 5. Kind of 4 there the first day, 4 the next day.
No one on the radio was seeing much. I was beginning to doubt we'd ever spot a couple of little fish fins poking out of all that ocean.
Well, I don't know, but swordfish out here, boy, is not very plenty.
This was more like hunting than fishing. Sharp eyes and endless patience. That's what it took.
There he is, there he is! There he is, look, he's running, look. Keep your eye on him, keep your eye on him, like, I see him, like, keep your eye on him. You see him? Little asshole. What a wall-freaking fish.
A clean miss.
Geez, you ain't going nuts with something like that. You're going nuts. Pretty timid, eh?
This is a timid one, eh?
Oh, you want to believe? There he is, there he is! Right, right stern there. Watch him lightning. Keep the light on. I'm lightning. All right, go out. I'll try to get him a little on here and on. There he bees! There he bees! Yeah, you bees! What a big fish! What a big fish! What a big fish! Well done, lightning! Well done, lightning! What a big guy! Man, he must weigh 200. That's nice fish.
Now, Birdland's close second here.
Man, we're laughing. We're in the money. We're laughing.
Put her in gear, for freak's sake.
I ain't gonna touch her. That makes me feel better all over. John?
After attaching a buoy and high flyer to the wounded fish, we went looking for more.
Yeah! What a big guy! Yeah!
By evening, we darted 4 swordfish. A good day's work if we got them all aboard.
Coming up, John. He's gonna be here.
There he is, John. Now this is the big one.
Okay, let her down. Let her go.
That's a nice fish, boy. 285.
You got to build your you got to have strong arms for rowing, because you got to be able to grip the oars and you got to be able to pull real hard.
This is where dory racing began, with the fishing fleets of Canada and New England. It's hard for me to imagine being dropped off in a dory way out here, working in rain, fog, even snow. And what if the weather turned really bad and they couldn't find you? Not a very pleasant thought. The day of the big race, we were at Lunenburg, a major fishing port since the days of sail.
What does the manager do? You have to keep things organized?
He does a lot of cursing and swearing at him.
Yeah. Did your son, any of your sons win? Or did
yeah, they're in the row-off.
Which one of the...
These two here, these are the champions, last year's champions, right?
Oh, those guys in the...
They're going to be in the row-offs.
How'd you make out, Flo?
Oh, we done all right. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's all they want.
Come in second, yeah.
Next one.
It's the last one. That's the last one. You don't want to come in second, right?
This was the boat to beat, old rivals, the Dempseys from Herring Cove. The final race, coming up, would decide the winner.
This is a strenuous race now, this is, you know. 8 or 9 minutes to solid rowing.
Okay, get ready for the start, John.
Yeah, she's got her way. Here we go. High, low, let her go. Pretty tight.
Who's ahead?
The middle boat's ahead, the herring covers. So far.
Are they close?
Oh yeah, it's pretty close race through, yeah.
The Dempseys were first round the flag. They seemed to gain on Avon Clark at the turn.
Pretty tight there so far, John.
Is it?
Yeah.
It didn't look so good to me. The Dempseys were now a boat length ahead and pulling hard for the finish line. They were into the home stretch now and still holding their lead. I couldn't believe my eyes. Just when I thought it was all over, Avon Clark suddenly started gaining. They're the dory closest to me.
Power, boys, nothing else. Come on, George. Yeah. Hey, all lasting power. Geez, did they ever come by them first last 2 or 3 dory went? Did you see that? Oh, gee.
I can't believe we caught you. Hey, he said we had it. Then I started hauling hard as I could, and he started hauling. I couldn't believe we were that close.
Boy, you can see it too.
Yeah, I know, man.
The last 3 strokes.
Just maybe it's going to get you some power. You'll be getting grip. Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Didn't look too good for a while, John, but it'll just show you how everything can turn, right? You know, just at the last minute. It's like this, you and I can be out running in a race, right? And say we got to run the half a mile, right?
Okay.
Okay, you're there alongside of me, and we're patting and puffing, and you're getting tired, and you're feeling awful, and you figure, well, geez, I'm never going to do it, I'm getting too tired. And here's this guy right alongside you, he's thinking the same thing. Geez, am I ever getting tired, see? So here you are, you both think the same thing, but you're not telling each other that. But see, you just keep going until you hit the biscuits, because you're getting tired, but the other guy may be just a little bit tired. But if you was to stop, you lose the race, right?
Yeah.
But see, you just keep going till you fall. You lost the race then for sure. Mm-hmm. But remember, that's what it's all about, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Right to the bitter end.
The federal government today announced massive closures and quota cuts which will affect the entire industry. Cuts which will throw as many as 12,000 people out of work.
It's a massive cutback affecting all of Atlantic Canada.
When's it going to end?
The measures that we've announced today are drastic and they're painful for many. They're necessary to rebuild the fishery.
You ever have doubts that you should have made them into fishermen?
They made more than what the high-paid lawyer this last 10 years. Because I seen back here 5 years ago, they were making around $80,000, $90,000 a year. So that's big pay, isn't it?
Pretty good.
Yeah. But now, see, they're dropped down to 35 and 40, but still, that's still good money. You know, it's cutting too, but still good money.
Mm-hmm.
But like I say, as long as they leave the sword fishery alone and leave the halp fishery alone, why, we can survive. But there's a lot of poor buggers not going to make it.
It turned out Louis was no stranger to ruination by state decree. He made this home movie showing the launch of the Suzanne and Pauline. She was brand new, the boat he'd been working toward all his life. The 1960s was the heyday of the sword fishery. Louis's ability and hard work were paying off as they never had before.
Them was the best days of our lives. I mean, you look back, anything you want, that's it. Now, who's that fella? Look, who's that? Hey, you guys, what's the striker on this? See, you're going to see him now, the number one.
I think he's a dead fish. So he's naked.
Look at the head I hit on him, look.
Oh, he's pretty fella, too.
Look at that. Oh, Louis hit one. Holy hit one at last. I never missed a fish, boy. I was number one.
No, yeah, you never missed a fish. I've seen some of that. You never missed a fish.
Hey, the fruit, the punt's looking at the hell, stay and see it.
Louis, when I was
He didn't even run, I picked
Here he
him up.
comes here. You want to see a nice fish?
Here he comes to get him. Look. He looked fat kid.
Look at the fish, look. Look at the fish, see him? Look. I seen Louis go on 7 one day and he skinned the eye off a
Yeah, look. See him underwater, look. Watch this, watch.
You want that one? Where do you get that back?
Then in 1971, disaster struck.
Dr. Wheeler, is there any knowledge as to the source of this mercury pollution?
There's no doubt in coastal regions mercury contamination from industrial sources. So I think it's going to require a great deal more work before the relative contribution of each of these sources is pinpointed.
It took the authorities 10 years to decide the mercury in swordfish was harmless and lift the ban on eating it.
I lost the boat, the Suzanne Pauline. Another year or so, you know, thought I would have had her paid for. I lost that. And down the road was all kind of, I got sick, had an ulcer, and had him in the hospital, although no operation, but had a lot of tough times. And life, that's all life is, you know, a cycle of good times and bad times. You know as well as I do. If it was always good all the time, we'd be bored to death, wouldn't even want to live. So this is why we have these tough times. But life is ups and downs, and it's never going to change.
When he quit sword fishing, I think he did it because when he quit sword fishing, he wasn't busy enough and it was driving him crazy. He'd get us all in a circle and he'd sit there with that old Gibson guitar and we'd have to sit there and listen to the whiniest, depressing songs that you ever wanted to hear. And I mean, we had to do this. And I mean, you know, about people dying and people getting divorced and
rain down sorrow, it rained all over me, Lord, I got wet. Oh, it rained down sorrow, it rained all over me. Ain't nobody ever lived with the old baby.
I used to grab me music and go to parties, right? She didn't want me to go. I was going to this party and she didn't want me to go. And came out, holding my guitar, and I floated in the back seat, and first thing, rippity bang, this great big rock came at the front of the car. It hit the car. I put her in the reverse and I got out that fast as I could. A wife that was going to let you say, well, I don't care if you do this, I don't care if you do that, that's not a good wife. A good wife is the one that says, look, you did that last night, now the night you don't do it. Right? I mean, the man has to have so much freedom, but too much freedom is no good for him. And if the little woman gets too much freedom, she's a loser. It's the other way around. It's the other way too, you know what I mean? There has to be an even Steven. Yeah, because love is not an even keel. I mean, it's ups and downs.
I went with Louis to an appointment in Halifax. It's only a 30-minute drive, but he never comes here unless he has to.
But this here is just something new, never had before in my life. And I was coming in from fishing, I was just standing there and standing up for 4 or 5, and the first thing I started to feel the swell up, start to swell up, and when I took, man, you couldn't touch it. You know, it just swelled right up.
That's pretty good.
Oh yeah, let's this, yeah, that's right.
Did that hurt your hernia?
No, that don't bother me, but like I say, I can get and dance, I can go to a dance all it, but...
Where did you learn to do that?
Well, that came from Wolf Carter years ago. See, when you keep going and going, as long as you like, as long as you take a good breath and you can go. You know what I mean?
Well, you're quite the entertainer. You need to have your hernia fixed. A tape. Hemostat. Okay, stitch. It's awfully quiet in here.
Can I sing a song while he's doing it?
Yeah, go ahead. You can yodel, you can do anything you want. Which tune are you going to yodel?
Oh, I know several yodels.
Which is your favorite?
Well, I'd say Moonlight Lullaby.
Let's hear that one.
There's nothing off my lines, are they?
No, I don't know how you do that.
Anyway, the operation was all right. I mean, the pain's not that hot, though. I can't tell everybody that no, there's nothing to it, but it's the pain. The after effects is the worst of it, yeah. By the time the old sharking comes in, well, I figure I'll be in pretty good shape. God help them sharks. Well, these are all just small ones. I'll get well soon. While you're in the hospital, a little note to keep you company.
That's something.
Yeah. Hope you're feeling better today. What about tomorrow? Huh?
Why was she in the hospital? I mean, why did they put her in?
For an operation, because she had cancer. But the thing was, they didn't detect it. See, they let it go too long. They didn't detect the things. They would have, could have. When she first went in there, you know, if they would have just took a look at her head, they would have found it. See, I mean, just pumping the pills to her. There's all these ashes. Now I'm going to keep those ashes. And if I never get married again, I mean, I'm not that old, but if I don't get married no more, I'm going to have my ashes. Have the family take my ashes and do the same thing, you know, cremate it. And I want them to take them out here in the harbour and spread our ashes together.
Would you also have a headstone in the cemetery, or?
No, see, I'd have another one of those. No. This is a family testimonial in memory of my beloved wife, Ivy, who passed away in 1993. Words cannot describe how much she was loved by her family, and that we shall never forget her. And if there was one put up for me, now the family growing up now, like my son's families, would look at this and maybe a fire could destroy it. Anything is good, but anything, earthquakes can destroy something, right? Typhoons can destroy something. Big floods can destroy something. So what is forever?
You tell me.
I'll just come on this side just for now to show you where to sign. Here's the first marriage to be recorded in the new church register. Well, that's a good one, isn't it? Now, after they sign, then I will introduce the newly married couple as, how did you want to be introduced? Don and Clark Henneberry, who are now joined in marriage? Or how do you want to be introduced?
No, I think I'm going to see them all married.
You're not keeping
7 children, and Clark's the last one.
If you had one word of advice to give him, what would it be?
What do you mean, to Clark?
About marriage, yeah.
Well, God, if he asked me, oh my God, well, I'd say give and take. I mean, you know, you have to give so much and take so much. You know, I mean, that was big arguments and making up, and that's good. That's part of living.
There it is, Angels. It's not perfect, but you can make it suit yourself here, right?
Did it around the back of my neck at all, Hilary?
You gotta get that. Get it all dressed up there.
By the time I get all togged up, son, the wedding will be all over.
The love of God surround you, and the Holy Spirit keep you, this day and evermore. Amen. The marriage vows may be sealed with a kiss.
Never seen a wedding reception like it. Louis's brothers, sisters, children, grandchildren, friends, and neighbors were all there. It was as if everyone he'd ever known was somehow present for the celebration.
going as long as you like. As long as you take a good breath. Anyway, that's what it's all about. When you keep going as long as you like. Our father and son say it's a wonderful thing. As long as you take a good breath. Anyway, that's what it's all about.